Deep in the pine barrens of New Jersey, there's a sound people don't talk about unless they have to. A scream too sharp for an animal, too human for comfort, and too old to belong to anything natural. Travelers say it cuts through the trees like a blade. Hunters swear their dogs freeze when they hear it. And every so often, someone claims they saw wings passing between the branches. Wings that don't match any creature known to science. Locals say it all began with a cursed birth in 1735, a child that twisted into something else before it ever took its first breath. A child that didn't stay in the cradle. A child that climbed the walls, tore through the rafters, and vanished into the storm. Tonight, we follow the trail of the Jersey Devil, the creature that never stopped flying. Welcome to Rick's Storyverse. Tonight, we step into the Pine Barrens, where folklore grows like roots and shadows move with intention. This is the story of a creature born in anger, shaped by fear, and carried through centuries by the people who swear they've seen it. The Pine Barrens cover more than 1,000,000 acres of dense forest, winding rivers, and sandy soil. It's a place where the modern world feels distant, where the trees grow close together, and the silence settles heavy. For generations, people have whispered that something unnatural lives there. Something older than the towns that surround it, something older than the roads that cut through it, and something even older than the stories themselves. The most famous version begins in 1735 in a small, weather-beaten house belonging to a woman known only as Mother Leeds. She already had 12 children, each one born into a life of hardship. Food was scarce, winters were brutal, and the Pine Barrens were unforgiving. When she discovered she was pregnant again, something inside her hardened. Exhaustion, fear, and bitterness twisted together until she cursed the unborn child, declaring that if she had to bring another life into this world, then let it be a devil. The night of the birth was stormy. Thunder rolled across the sky, and the wind rattled the shutters. Neighbors claimed the air felt wrong, as if the storm wasn't coming from the clouds, but from the house itself. Inside, the midwife worked by candlelight, trying to calm Mother Leeds as the labor grew more intense. When the child finally arrived, it appeared normal, a healthy baby boy, crying and wriggling like any other newborn. But the relief of the birth didn't last. Within moments, the child began to change. Its legs stretched and twisted into the shape of a goat. Its skin darkened and tightened. Wings burst from its back, leathery and strong. Its eyes glowed with a strange, unnatural light. The midwife screamed, Mother Leeds fainted, and the creature, no longer a child, let out a shriek so piercing it was said to echo across the pines for miles. The creature thrashed around the room, knocking over furniture, clawing at the walls. Then, with a violent flap of its wings, it shot up the chimney, scattering soot and embers as it vanished into the storm. Outside, the wind howled, as if answering its cry. From that night on, the Pine Barrens were never the same. Over the years, sightings trickled in. Farmers reported livestock found torn apart, their tracks surrounded by strange hoofprints. Travelers claimed they saw a winged figure perched in the treetops, watching them with glowing eyes. Children whispered about a creature that could slip between branches without making a sound, and every so often, someone heard that scream. The same scream described in the old stories, sharp enough to freeze your blood. In 1909, the legend erupted into national attention. For one terrifying week in January, hundreds of people across New Jersey and Pennsylvania reported encounters. Police officers fired at a creature perched on a rooftop. A trolley car full of passengers claimed it attacked them in broad daylight. Schools closed, factories shut down, newspapers printed sketches of a winged beast with hooves and a serpent like tail. And in the snow, investigators found tracks. Cloven prints that traveled across fences, rooftops, and even through yards where no animal could have walked without leaving deeper impressions. Skeptics tried to explain it away. Some blamed escaped zoo animals. Others suggested mass hysteria. A few blamed pranksters. But the people who lived near the Barrens, they didn't need convincing. They had heard the stories since childhood. They knew the woods held secrets. One of the most chilling accounts came from a trapper named Samuel Hargrove. He spent most of his life in the Barrens and knew every trail, every clearing, every sound the forest could make. One winter night, he heard something moving outside his cabin. Something heavy. Something that breathed in long, deliberate huffs. When he stepped outside with his lantern, he saw two red eyes staring back at him from the tree line. The creature stood still, its wings folded tight against its body, its hooves sinking into the snow. Hargrove said it didn't run, it didn't fly, it simply vanished, as if the darkness swallowed it whole. Stories like his continued for decades. Some described the creature as aggressive, others as curious, almost intelligent. A few claimed it followed them, gliding silently overhead as they walked forest paths. And though no one ever captured it, the legend only grew stronger. But there's another layer to the story, one rooted in history rather than fear. The Leeds family was real. Daniel Leeds, a colonial figure, was deeply disliked by his neighbors for his unusual beliefs and his conflicts with the Quaker community. His family crest even featured a dragon-like creature. Over time, the Leeds name became tangled with superstition, resentment, and folklore. Some historians believe the Jersey Devil was born not from a cursed child, but from a community's attempt to demonize a family they distrusted. Yet, even if the legend began as a smear, something else took root in the Barrens. Something people continued to see, hear, and fear long after the Leeds family faded into history. Today, the Pine Barrens remain vast and mysterious. Hikers still report strange noises. Campers still wake to the feeling of being watched. And every so often, someone claims they saw wings passing between the trees, or heard a scream that didn't belong to any creature they recognized. Maybe the Jersey Devil is just a story. Maybe it's a warning. Or maybe, just maybe, something born in anger that never truly dies. It just waits for the next storm. I'd like to close out the story with a poem, and here's the poem. Born in a storm where curses take flight, a twisted child vanished into the night. Its wings beat hard through barren pines, a shadow cast in crooked lines. Its scream still chills the traveler's bone, a haunting cry no mortal should own. Some say it guards the forest deep, a restless soul that never finds sleep. But legends thrive where fear runs wild, and Jersey keeps its devil child. So tread with care where dark winds swell. You may yet meet the Leeds-born devil. It's another story from the edge of night. Please like and subscribe to keep the torch alight. Good night.